seem more likely with this time.
Right.
With that, I seem more likely it's with.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not
Oh, look. Many tractors steaming away. Bendy ones, don't you?
It's only got the red inside.
Disconnect the North bolts while I do it, and then grinding myself.
A jewellery down there. What's that?
When I was at Leicester School Centre, I had quarter-inch sockets in
I'm in a box full. You know, she's like one of these jewellery boxes. Yeah.
the other places selling tools.
Well, yeah, because you ain't going to see them again.
Well, I think unfortunately he's the best of a bad bunch, isn't it?
Oh, is that one of them with bikes?
Alright. Get out of the way, alright. I should this way. What's this?
Things with bikes, isn't it?
No, you said you wanted to go there, just to leave. Yeah, because you leave the air that shit all that. Dad.
Smaller ones, Dad.
Yeah, only is that one, it was much bigger than that. It was about
You've got any small 8mm socket sets, have you? Small 8mm socket sets?
half-inch drive, small sockets.
What, are you wanting an 8mm socket? 8mm, one
Yeah, but we get the set. I'm
small
not sure
set.
if it's an 8 to tighten my battery fan, but if you've got a little half-inch socket set all together.
You'd be better. Half inch is really big for 8mm.
I mean, sorry, quarter-inch.
Yeah,
quarter-inch.
Quarter inch. I'll show you what we've got.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's all in millimetres now.
You know, that's the drive quarter-inch.
With a ratchet, or do you just want the sockets?
Oh, that'll do. Got that bit to come inside.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
You get the ratchet, the extensions.
Then we've got one of the complete thing that's
Is it
all
tin?
inside,
Well, let me show you what they'll take.
yeah. Yes. Oh yeah.
Short and long. Sockets.
Yeah, that will handle with
Flexi and the long, the short and the long, what's this as well? So that one, that one that's only got short reach sockets, we've got bits. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, you're probably better off with that.
that one's better.
That one's better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that
one
one.
of them, please.
Yeah.
Take a card, do you? Yeah.
Yeah, both cameras.
What are you looking for? Punches? Yeah, the little punch sets.
Far corner. Far corner.
There was a small one over there, Dad, look. On the corner, look.
Sets under. Did you want to go with your bike? It's better than my bike. It's stronger.
Would you have a...
Do you have a pulver opener and bike out? We have various. Let me show you what we've got.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very small on that corner, didn't they?
I've got different vents, extension bits which is handy.
Yeah.
Are you ready, gentlemen? You get out.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I found one in the drawer the other day.
That's why I mentioned it.
In the garden,
Picture?
bad days.
Have you cleaned it all?
They were my good days. I didn't do bad days, was it? Good days. Good for me, happy you.
Was he not to go to school? He never tells me.
So we've got mixed up with that, got his name now.
Michael Stocker.
Stockers. I'm digging the garden to make a rock with it. He buried it in the garden.
Got dressed up and I died it. Where's Michelle gone? Michelle!
It is a fascinating subject all on its own. The whole idea behind it is the very, very basic just have a look at what's coming past me now. Absolutely stunning. This would have been a road locomotive, heavy haulage, etc. Just truly wonderful Prometheus. Absolutely wonderful. That will be a 6-inch scale. This whole thing about scale is very much, some engines it sort of doesn't make sense because they're smaller or bigger. But of course, remembering that the original engine, there were some enormous engines, so that's where the discrepancy comes from. You're imitating a smaller engine with a bigger scale, absolutely wonderful. remember with steam is that, of course, you don't just jump on it and off you go. These will need to have been lit probably 2 or 3 hours ago to get them up to speed. It's amazing. You imagine your working day starts. Just incredible, the concept turned into a genset. Very, very clever use of the technology. Now this is compound, so we said earlier about compound engines being essentially that they recycle the steam, so you get 2 bites of the cherry. This is absolutely glorious to look at. I mean, it's almost an art form, isn't it? You must be so pleased with how that's turned out. You're just the pilot, really, then. Yeah. Well, now, fantastic. Great to see you and the missus. Wonderful fun, you guys. Thank you very much for being here this weekend. Every day is a school day. Do you know that, ladies and gentlemen? It's an old saying, but my goodness, it is very, very true. I'm on a learning curve here, sir. Now, tell me what we've got here, because this is fantastic. It's a time school for Now, some of these exhibits here are kits, but absolutely yours is not a kit. District 2012, not set a drawing he built it from scratch. That is just extraordinary, that's just a throwaway line. On a charity road run. And he's going quick enough, all the way left to Scotland, Murrayfield, from
There's the lady with the
whole world. 2, 3, 4 and 5,000. This little John Deere coming past me now very much brings up for horticultural work, smashing ramps and TS42 single furrow plough. One of my favourites, my goodness, yesterday I saw that at KMD, and that stands for Kent Ford Distributors. That tractor is specifically designed for work orchards, in poppy yards, etc. Small and lower, nice. How about that John Deere R? Absolutely stunning to see that tractor here. 1950s American, loosely known as a prairie buster, a real monster tractor. Another of these lovely field marshals. Just look at the quality of that restoration, ladies and gentlemen. That tractor, believe it or not, you can start with a shotgun car. You put it in the front of there, you wind the piston right up to the top dead centre, hit the cartridge, bang, and off it goes. Multi-fuel as well. Just look at the quality of restoration. This magnificent grey Fergie coming past me now. 4-cylinder diesel with an incredible restored Ferguson trailer on the back. A real work of art to see those two together. Absolutely glorious to see. I think you'll agree with me, ladies and gentlemen. What an eyesore tractor. Absolutely astonishing. To see this amount of enthusiasm and commitment from these guys. The field in the middle of nowhere in Northamptonshire to put a display on like this, pretty incredible. So we're going to some of the drivers now because it's really only by talking so that we can get an insight into some of the history of some of these tractors. I think there's probably 50 plus tractors out here today. If I'm quick, I'll get you the photograph. Hang on, hang on. Smile. Fantastic. I don't charge for appearance fees. Kirsty. Kirsty. Now the lovely Kirsty, my goodness, the first time I saw your tractor, I thought, my on the front, so put a pound or two in there because an amazing lady and an amazing tractor and a really amazing good cause. So well done you, great pleasure to see you again. On the subject of good causes, my goodness Ryan, now it is such a pleasure to meet you this weekend because we're busy promoting what you're going to do, which by any standards I think is a pretty incredible achievement. So just tell everybody, what are you up to?
Well, that building is 1954 built in Birmingham before I went up to Margate in 64, and in 6 weeks time, basically 6 weeks yesterday, I'm going to be leaving Twickenham Stadium in London and driving 5 days, 600 miles, arriving at Forestfield Stadium on the 26th time.
tell you that this is my favourite. This I think is absolutely stunning. Again, similar stable to these previous two. This, I suppose we could call this a cricket pitch roller. So tell me what we've got here.
So we've got a Barnford and Perkins 1926 cricket roller, as you say. It's 2-speed petrol.
I mean, it just sort of does things for me. I think it's absolutely lovely. Pretty rare, I would say. I mean, I do not see very many of these. So this essentially, in simple terms, the steam is external combustion. This is internal combustion. Quite user-friendly, quite a sensible little thing to use. Lovely to see, I would suspect very rare. So thank you so much for bringing it. I see you've got some helpers here with you. Well done you, thank you so much, madam. That's lovely to see that. Isn't that smashing? But perhaps not as nice as what we got here. So what have we got here? This is a 6-inch barrel trench engine built by Phileas Again, just the visuals of it up close. It is really something.
We'll be over.
Yeah, I like it. Sensible size, big enough that we can all fit on it, but still easy to go. Well, wonderful to see, and thank you very much for being here this weekend, because although this is much more manageable, it's still a project to get this here. It doesn't just sort of come in your handbag, does it? No, it doesn't, no. Assuming you knew you were coming round the ring at this time, so what time were you getting going this morning? It'll take about an hour to walk up. Again, glorious to see. Thank you very much for being here this weekend. Wonderful. Afternoons, guys. No. Hello, sir. What fun to see you again. How much fun have we got here? Because this is wonderful. Is this different to what you came round with yesterday? No, same engine. Oh, we had the water car, yeah, but not today. So, tell me what we got here. So we've got a half-scale Marshall traction engine built by my granddad, Phil. It was one of 3 built from the Fox Solids one. Right, I mean, and again, just that attention to detail, it almost defies logic, the effort, time and trouble that people went into to get them to look like that. Wonderful. Yeah, I mean, it was a credit to him really, so. And this is still great car, wouldn't know. Oh my goodness, what a fitting memorial to him, because the engineering skills that these guys had is just extraordinary, isn't it? These days to do, he couldn't like read or write, he just went in his shed and he put on the lathe and how come that? My God. Well, if he'd ever learned to read or write, what on earth would he have made then? Spaceships, I should think. Wonderful, thank you so much. Brilliant. So now we move on to our magnificent full-size engines. We have 3 engines here today. This amazing Marshall that comes from the incredible Alan Eaton MBE. And this is Moonlight Rumbler. Again, very much a local engine. They drive in here from Cretan. Quite an interesting engine, has a heat exchanger on it. So this is the sort of add-on after the whole compound engine idea. Marshalls or Gainsborough, of course, a very, very famous name, went on to make Marshall tractors. That is a pretty stunning example and beautifully presented here today. Next we have an Olchin compound engine, again very, very local to this area, made in Northampton. Olchins were quite highly regarded. They were a good quality engine, and if you think that this thing is probably 100 plus years of age, that longevity for a mechanical machine is pretty incredible. So, this one I think has extraordinary. This gentleman who's brought us this is sort of almost my next door neighbour, so it's a particular pleasure to see you guys here this weekend. Now this doesn't just sort of parachute in. How have you brought this here? Milo loader. Bit of a lightweight, isn't it? Because some people have to drive the blinking things here. It's so nice to see you here. Beautifully presented. I can see the cleaning rag in your hand. I mean, every steam engine enthusiast will tell you that they are some messy bloody things sometimes. So to have them as clean and beautiful as this is amazing. So well done you. Family weekend out. You can read, I can't. Just about, yeah. There was only 220 tractors in Spain, in Northampton, and there's only 25 in this country now. Most of them went down to the southern hemisphere in Australia. This one was meant to go, but it never went, and it went a guy called Arthur Hepper in Haddon in 1924, and in 1938 put them to Britain Rickards and Fairford. And then he went to Charles Rickard, saved the company and ran it until his death in 1972, and then he went into Redway. So a guy called Dougie Charlotte in Yarmson, it was named, so we believe, Little Mo after American tennis star Maureen Connolly, which Mr. Rickard was allowed in tennis. I mean, it is fascinating to hear that history, because most of these engines in the sort of early 1960s, end of the 50s, they lived on a knife edge, and some of them fell one side, they fell into the preservation movement, and some of them fell the other side and unfortunately were scrapped. So we are so lucky to see these engines here. And this enthusiasm and commitment that goes on means that we get to see them in shows, and so we owe you guys a huge debt of gratitude for being here, for keeping them up together. Fantastic. Thank you very much. We want some central heating out here, don't we? Yes. Now, Tom. So we've already heard about one option. This is another one. Now, this belongs to the wonderful Alan Eaton, MBE, and his family. Tell me a little bit about what goes on getting to the shows. We have pre-run everything, the birds run out, IndyCar to make sure we know where the fire hydrants are, where the pumps are, rubbish obviously. We travel everywhere by road, putting the engines down. Most of the engines that are here today is the Alan Eatons, both driven on the road everywhere. I mean, again, that is just a throwaway line. I was driven here, but that is hours and hours of not grief, that's the wrong word, but it doesn't happen by accident. There's a lot of effort goes into getting them. Yeah, so we say it's more fun to get them here rather than the show. You just don't know what's going to happen out on the road, as we demonstrated here with the auction. Because it took a bit longer than you thought it was going to. Yeah, 6 breakdowns, I mean. But we still love it, we enjoy it. It's great to be back out. I mean, so this enthusiasm, these guys, is just amazing. Thank you so much, Tom. Great fun at these shows. Always enjoyed to see you. Thank you very much. Now, my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, static display, all these wonderful little engines as well as the full size are parked up. The owners and drivers, some fascinating people to talk to, and they can give you so much more detail than I can in the brief time we have. So do go and have a look at the static displays. Tremendous to see these engines here this weekend, and as we've already touched on, it does not happen by accident. Huge amount of effort goes into getting them all here, and that's really what makes our show. So next in the ring, in about 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, is our wonderful vintage and classic tractor display. My goodness, yesterday we had an amazing turnout of tractors. And I hope with a bit of luck we can replicate that today. So just a few minutes now, they'll perhaps parade once or twice round and then back to their static displays. Do please be so aware, ladies and gentlemen, of vehicles moving round the showground. They don't stop like a modern car, so please give them a nice wide berth. Just be aware of these vehicles moving around the showground. So we're probably well into 80 years old, if not a touch more. So fantastic to see, and so nice to see you again, sir. A tractor to be proud of. Thank you. Now, we move on to Fordson Power Nation. Now this one has had a bit of a heart transplant because somebody has put a Ford Dorset engine in it. So that was gone from about 42 horsepower, well into the 60 to 70 horsepower. Made a very formidable tractor out of it because the back end of this tractor is so strong. So
Well, the station areas are everything in the room.
I got a bit of confusion there. Should I take it off and keep it on? And then when I took it off, I thought, want one of them?
Yep.
Not that one?
Yep.
Right.
You want that one behind you?
No. I like that one.
Oh, I like that one. Right.
Can I?
Oh, yep, yeah.
Hold on. Let me put that one back if you want.
No.
Just a minute then. Right.
They changed. As you look at stand in front of it and look. We move left and right. So when we went to Skegness, I got some of the chocolate ones, but they got other ones here. Yeah, if you watch them, Dad, look, if you move left and right, they change. No, they change.
It's alright, love. Right, go on.
Right. It's alright, it's fine.
It's alright,
Thanks.
love, we're fine, thank you. Steam over. Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, big deal, wasn't it? Store all the everything. They got this stored on the hill, wasn't it? Probably a separate field we walked back. Too much area.
Where's the station?
Oh, you get a little one. clothes. You look freezing. Like someone else, is it? Say the weather was going to be good in the afternoon. Dad, we need to call it a day. Joyce is freezing. You know what it is? We were waiting for you to say it was cold, aren't we? We didn't say it.
Right, which way are we going?
Dad, you can get around that way. No? Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's where we came up.
Central heating on.